So Ingersoll Auto of Danbury is a Chevy and GMC store out in the Danbury, Connecticut area. They're a growing store, and like growing stores, they have growing pains. So keys are coming out of the key room off those keyboards. They're ending up in guys' desks. They're ending up getting left in cars or dropped out on the lot or left at their different recon centers. So they needed an efficient way to be able to track where the keys are on one of many lots. On top of that, they've got vehicles. They've got a lot of vehicles, more than they're used to. And instead of walking the lot once you found the key and hitting the alarm trying to find it, they needed a more efficient way to do that didn't make all of the neighbors angry. So they started using TrueSpot. Let's talk about how that works. Ingersoll Auto is using our tracking tags for keys and our tracking tags for vehicles, right? So all you've got to do is zip tie this onto a set of keys and throw this around the rearview mirror. Now, once you do that, you have the ability to search them. Much like the app that you can see, I could jump in, type in a stock number or VIN, select the vehicle. It'll then show me the location of the vehicle first. And then above that, it'll tell me, hey, this is at the Rocks Lot South Center. So it'll show me and tell me where it is in that lot. And then for the keys, the exact same thing. It'll show me on a map that I can zoom in and zoom out on. And then it'll tell me, hey, this is at service at the used dispatch office. So if I'm trying to sell this car or do work to it, how much more efficient did I become? Because I can quickly see that the key is on the keyboard. It's at the dispatch office, and I can see that the vehicle is actually parked over at the Rocks lot. So this way I'm not wandering around at the wrong lot searching for the car. To allow these guys to see where those key tags are and those car tags are, we've got to set up a network out at the campus, or multiple campuses. So what I've got pulled up right now is their main campus. So outside, where you can see where typically light poles would live out there, I'm using these solar-powered gateways. So hold about a month's worth of charge. All I've got to do is run this up a light pole and band clamp it on. Doesn't require any power lines or anything like that. It is a very simple setup. We just have to use quite a few of them, right? This is a larger lot. Now, on the inside of buildings, so you can see in the inside of the buildings right up in here where it's real dense, that's where we're using a whole bunch of these interior gateways. So this is what we're going to put near, keyboards and key machines and sales guy's desk and anywhere the keys live. Maybe it's in your service department. Maybe it's near, service bays and detail areas, things like that. So a combination of both of these is what creates the network. Now, they have this network at the main location. They've got this secondary lot where they just wanted a single gateway. They just wanted to know if stuff was over there. They've got even another location, same thing, just tell me what's over there so they can keep track of it. And then they've got a fourth location. With all of these gateways up, allowing you to see those key tags, car tags, that's where this guy comes into play. This is the base station. Now the base station is what talks to all of these gateways and pushes those data points out to the cloud. So when you open up the app or the desktop dashboard and run a search, you can see where that key is or where that vehicle is. Once you have your keys in your cars with tags on them and we've set up the network, this is where things start to get really cool, right? You can quickly see I'm looking at every single key on their campus right now. So at the end of a night, if you see a key that may be floating around in this back parking lot, you can click in this area and it'll tell you, hey, there are 3 keys out on the employee parking lot. Here's the 3, right? So I could take this list and I could hit the export button and shoot this over to maybe a sales manager, whoever, and say, hey, have we checked on these? Or if I'm the closing manager, I need to grab some guys and we need to go get these keys off the lot. You can not only see all the keys at once, but additionally, you can see all of your vehicles at once. So if I want to see every vehicle on the campus, great, I can see where all my vehicles are at. If I want to know what vehicles are in a certain location, so like the Rocks lot, hey, I've got 288 vehicles over here. Here's a list of all 288. If I was doing an audit, this becomes powerful because I know those cars are there. Now, the same way I got to that on the map, up here where I'm highlighting, you can do that same thing. So I've got one single car over at the Pauling lot. I've got 3 sitting at the detail building right now. I've got 8 in the Chevy showroom. So if I got cars in the showroom before I go walking out the lot looking for it, why not check this? So I can break this down and create lists, and obviously any list you create, you can export. Anytime a tag leaves the campus, what happens? How do you track it? Or is it just gone forever? Well, there's a couple parts to that I want you to know about. The first is if you scroll over, there's a last sightings that you can use on inventory and keys. So anytime a tag leaves your campus, it's going to start a timer. So this way, if you're like, hey, I wonder what cars have been gone for more than 4 hours, I can click on this filter up here and it'll present me with a list of 4 vehicles that have left the campus and been gone for more than 4 hours, but less than 24. So this way, maybe I check the notes section. Is there a note related to this? Speaking of that, Understand, in the app and the dashboard, you can always leave a note. You can come in here and add a note related to something. So if a car had a dead battery and you wanted to let your porter know, great. Tag that has a dead battery, go find your lot porter, maybe Winston's my porter, and I shoot this message over to him. And it's connected to this stock number events. When he opens it up, he'll know which car to go find. Other cool things that you can do with this. What if you could see all of your old age units? What if you said, hey, I want to see everything that's 60 to 90 days old and where it's sitting on the lot? Well, here's a good way to do it. You can pull it up and look at all these and go, okay, most of these are in retail areas, but if I've got some cars that are parked way in the back of a parking lot, like employee parking back here, I may want to know which ones are over there. Well, I've got 4 old age units in employee parking right now. Here's a list of all 4. Maybe I grab a lot porter, get those moved out in front of the building. Understand that if you want to track something that's not a key or a car, you absolutely can. You can connect one of our key tags up to jump boxes, golf carts, dealer plates are a really big one for a lot of guys. Anything that seems to grow legs and wander off, right? Jump boxes in my store, we'd use it, you'd put it in the trunk, and then you'd go test drive the car, you get out, you drive 6 more cars, then we'd forget, we'd have no idea where the jump box was. We'd buy another one only to find it days later. Well, if you had one of these tags on it, you'd be able to search it out and see it. Now, one of the last cool things that I really like about this is you can use it for your photographer. If you want to show him where vehicles are that need photos, we can filter that for you. So, of the 883 vehicles that live in their feed, 653 have photos, right? The designated amount they pick, maybe they say 10. But if they want to see the 230 that don't, here's a list of all 230. And guess what? You can click on each one and it'll show you the location of the key and the location of the car. Or to take it even a step further, if you know that there's a bunch of cars in one area, you can come over to a certain area, click into it and say, hey, I know that all of these 80 vehicles need photos, and guess what? They're close to each other. So when I go grab the keys, I shouldn't have to wander all over a lot to find the cars because I'm filtering this down to make my photographer more efficient. Now, if you were saying, this is really cool, I wonder if they offer any reporting, the answer is yes. We can create all kinds of custom reports. Here's an example. You want to select amount of time that a vehicle's been test driven, let's say 10 to 30 minutes, right? And I want to look at either multiple days or a single day. Maybe I want to look at just the 3rd and go, hey, what vehicles were test driven from 10 to 30 minutes, that period of time on the 3rd? Well, now I've got a list of every single stock and VIN that was driven on the 3rd. I can even see which vehicles were driven more than once. So now you can start looking at what people are driving and seeing if they're buying. And if they're not buying, okay, do we think it's our price? Do we think it had to do with the sell? It had to do with their trade? What's going on there? How can you use that data if you know what people are test driving? Now you can compare it to what they're buying. Now, if you wanted to take reporting in a little bit different avenue, here's a perfect example. You could use this in a recon department, or if you want to track service keys and cars from me. Understand I offer that. You can actually see over my shoulder, I've got service tags that you can connect up to car tags, key tags. If you want more information, check at the end of the video or in the description. I'll put a link to a store that tracks a service and how it's different. But what if you had reports like that to where you could see, I want to know which vehicles haven't moved for extended periods of time. So I can slide the slider and go, hey, show me any vehicle that has been sitting stagnant for 5 days. Tag hasn't moved it at all. This is a good way for service departments to go, okay, well, I've got a pile of tags here, tag 298, 717, 140, 220. None of these have moved. So I could look at my ROs and go, why is this not moved? Are we waiting on a customer approval? Are we waiting on a part? What's going on? You could use this same thing in like a recon process where this would be stock numbers and VINs, and you know, hey, why do I have cars sitting in my recon process that haven't moved for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days? What a cool way that you could use this to make sure nothing falls through the cracks. Now, if you find yourself like Ingersoll Auto and that you have a growing dealership and you seem to be starting to run into issues tracking down keys, or maybe cars are just a little bit harder to maintain because you got them at multiple lots, using our tracking tags makes a lot of sense. I'd be more than happy to hop on a demo to walk you through what it looks like, some different scenarios if there's something you're thinking about. Maybe you're thinking, hey, what if someone takes a key home? Is there a way to track it then? There is. Let me show you how that works on a demo. Or maybe I piqued your interest and you're saying, tell me more about that service option. What about a tag that I could throw on the rearview mirror that I could just take this number and put it into the app and search it and see the location of that car? Or the same thing for a key tag that's tracked, where when I search 50/50 or 60/40 here, I can see the location of the keys, maybe they're at dispatch, and the car that's sitting in my parking garage on level 2 and in what area. There's a lot of cool things we can do. Give me a call, text, email. Let's talk about your store.